I just want to take a moment today to remember one of our previous guests, Kelly Campbell. She was sitting in this chair right across from me. She was a breast cancer survivor. She was here in the studio with us and she shared her story. She was an amazing, courageous, spunky woman. Kelly lost her battle with breast cancer on November 9th. And I just wanted to, share that with the viewers. In her memory, our condolences and our love go to the Campbell family, Scott and the children. Also, with Kelly's journey, as mentioned, she was a breast cancer survivor, and she had both of her breasts removed, and as her story went, and 6 months later she developed a cough, and she went to go get checked, and come to find out the cancer had spread to her lungs, liver, certain bones in her body, her spine, and then her brain. Kelly drove here with her son in that condition, which was absolutely amazing. I was floored. I could not believe the power behind this amazing woman with all that she was going through and what her body physically was going through. So again, our condolences to the Campbell family. We love you, and Kelly was very special, and God has gained an incredible angel. So I want to thank you for, having Kelly share her story with us. Welcome to another episode of Real Life Survivor Stories, a talk show about real life, real people, and real stories. And if you're new and you're just tuning in, Real Life Survivor is a nonprofit organization. And what makes us unique is that we're an organization for every cause, every circumstance, and every condition. So no one ever has to feel alone or suffer in silence. We share stories on every platform. And here we give you a voice. And today I'm so excited to have in the studio with us Jayden Mosher.
Yes.
He's actually my cousin, and I'm so glad to have you here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Yes, thank you.
And you have an amazing story, and of course you shared your story with me, and we've done your monthly poster.
Yep.
We do a monthly poster every month for each survivor, and this is Jayden's poster. And again, your story has touched so many lives, Jayden, and you're just a young guy out there living your life, going through the struggle. So I'm going to ask you, when were you diagnosed?
Yep.
You suffered with bipolar 2,
Yep.
anxiety, depression.
Yep.
When did you feel things were off? Maybe you started feeling different in your life, mood changes, mood swings.
Yep.
Was there a day that you woke up, or was it just kind of like it came on all of a sudden, and you noticed it more so, I guess?
Yeah. For me, it was more around the time of high school, which is obviously a very stressful time for any young man or woman growing up.
Right.
Completely whole new ball game, right? So
right on.
It was in my grade 9 year. I had really noticed that I wasn't my happy-go-lucky self anymore, like I was as a younger kid.
Right.
So it was more so like I was such like a happy kid all through middle school, whatnot, and then grade 9 hit and it didn't change. Like I still obviously have a decent perspective on like how I should be living my life, but I went from always being kind of this smiley, happy kid to just isolating myself more so. Like I wouldn't want to go to school. I started acting out, just not per se being a bad kid, but I didn't hold my tongue. I just kind of, if I didn't like what you were saying to me, I would give it right back.
Right on.
Essentially.
Okay.
So it kind of
like no filter.
Yeah. So that kind of led me into, other people started noticing. It was more so my mother at the time, because my parents are split, so I was living with my mother.
Yes.
She took me into my doctor and set my up an appointment, and he came to find out that it wasn't my psychiatrist, it was just my doctor. He diagnosed me with major depressive disorder
Okay.
and anxiety. So I was medicated for that all through high school, up until 11th grade, and then the meds that I was on just they weren't working anymore, and I started feeling more, instead of just being like depressed in the morning, like a seasonal depression, like you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something and then you get
Yeah.
over it.
Exactly.
Instead of that, it would be like I'd go weeks or months on end where I wouldn't want to go to school, or I'd just be making bad decisions with, as you do, obviously, as 11th grade, you're 15, 16 years old,
Still
you're going to
learning.
make bad decisions,
Yeah.
but they were more so not, they weren't controlled decisions. It was kind of just,
Reckless.
yeah, I was impulsive.
Okay.
It was like I was doing things that I knew I shouldn't be doing, but it felt like I should be doing them at the time, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. Yes.
Like, for me, and it's not for everyone for bipolar, but like for me, it's like almost when I'm in a high, it's like a voice in the back of my head, like, it's a bad idea, but you should do it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then when I'm in
Like-
a low, it's like, you don't want to do that. You really don't. Don't do it. Just don't do it. So like I'll hold myself back from doing a lot of things. So that really started for me in 11th grade, where like I had to go and take it up a level from, instead of going to see just a family doctor, I had to really go see a psychiatrist and really get it figured out from there.
Okay. Did you find that helped you though?
At first I was scared,
Sure.
as like obviously it's depression. Everyone goes through depression. It's not what everyone really makes it out to be. Everyone can be depressed. When like having depression is different from being depressed, but it's more out there, right? Like more people are more
Right.
socially aware of depression, as where to bipolar is, a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Like my biggest question I get is, what's the difference between bipolar 1 and 2?
Right.
And it's like,
What is the difference?
so bipolar 1 it's more of throughout your daily life. So for me, I'm bipolar 2. I'll go a week where I'm in a bad mood, I'm in a low. And then I'll have another week where I live my life as someone without bipolar would live their life, like just
Okay.
normal. And then another week, I'm in a high, so I'll make impulsive decisions. It's just, as where bipolar 1, it's like you'll make your decisions and your mood will switch drastically just like that.
Okay.
As where like I'll go to bed in a low and I'll wake up in a high, but it lasts a lot longer than it would for someone with bipolar 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I understand. I didn't
Yeah.
know that, so thank you for
Yeah, of
sharing
course.
that, because you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
And I think if more people understood, the behind the scenes kind of like of someone that has bipolar, they'd be more understanding
Yes,
of
of
their their moods, but with an everyday person and the viewers watching, we come across people at work, at school, in our everyday life, and they might be in a mood,
Yep.
and then you just don't know where that's coming from. Was it me?
Yep.
Did I say something wrong? And it
No,
could
of
be
course.
just them waking up, going through, their struggle.
Yes, of
So,
course.
yeah, I really appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always good to, have people informed, and it's not like, I'm not saying that, as you said, like someone could wake up in a bad mood, and like me being bipolar, like that shouldn't excuse the fact that I wake up in a bad mood and I might say something to you that I wouldn't normally say if I wasn't like
Right.
per
Yeah.
se in a low or a high. But it's more acceptable, I guess, if the people that I'm around are informed and aware of like why. Like I will never ever say like, oh yeah, well you need to get over it because I'm bipolar. Like that's not how it works. It's
Right.
you need to learn how to control it, even if it's hard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's always good to like have the people around you informed about the difference in how you're going to act and whatnot, right? So
and the knowledge of you actually having
Yeah.
bipolar, I mean, it really helps, you know, the people that your loved ones and your friends. You know, Jayden has bipolar. Okay, so if he's a little off today, it's not me. It's probably something he's going through.
Yes.
But you know, in real life, it's really hard to actually understand that in the moment, because you never know when it's coming on.
Yep.
And you know, whoever's in the same room as you never knows, you know what kind of mood you're going to be in,
Yes, of
and
course.
or what have you, and everything could be going great, and all of a sudden something there's in a conversation starts out great, and 10 seconds later it shoots off to an argument, and you're just like, did I say something? And it's not even
No,
you.
it's not.
And I find that afterwards, because I also work with people that have mental illnesses and conditions, and I've learned afterwards that you have time to think about what just happened, and you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't me. It's probably something that they're, you know what I mean, their condition, and it doesn't make you feel as bad.
It's nice too, because if, at least for me, I'm aware that I'm very bipolar. Like at points, I'm very aware, and if I know that if I'm very conscious that I did something wrong, I am the first person I will own up to it always. I'm not saying everyone with bipolar is like that, but I know I have a lot of friends who are as mentally ill as I am, if not worse off than I am, and a lot of us are the first people we will
say sorry.
We will own up to where we've messed up, because as long as like I said, I'll never excuse being rude to someone or like and blame it on my bipolar, but I will always kind of have my own back on that, because I'll always be the first person to apologize if I am.
That's awesome.
If I am rude.
Well, that's good of you.
So.
You know, I think we all have a little bit of some of that, you know, I'm not saying bipolar, but we're never really properly diagnosed in our life. And, you know, we go through traumas and tributes that we don't realize the effect, the everlasting effect they have on us, you know, throughout our lifetime, because, you know, you could be like, no, I'm fine. Like, I've gone through this traumatic episode. And then all of a sudden you notice some mood swings, or you're kind of sharp with people. And it's just kind of like, maybe I should go talk to somebody. You know what I mean? And it's good for you. It's good for the people around you. How has this whole thing impacted your life? Like, you know, you already told us you wake up, you know, you go about your day, you have your focus, your schedule, basically. And do you find that you're kind of going towards what you want to go towards now? Like, I know you have mentioned to me that you're working out at the gym. You like to do some personal training. You're taking a course for that. You've still got some work to do there.
Of course.
Helping other people that way.
Yeah, so like for me, it's definitely been a long journey. Like anyone with mental illness will say, most of us have struggled with addiction.
Right.
So for me, in high school, I was addicted to pills, and then after, I was addicted to alcohol. For me, like after all that, it's definitely going a lot better.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Fitness has definitely been a big part of it.
You've come a long way, actually. I've watched your journey.
I've been going, it was a year ago, or 2 years on September 13th, I believe, that I started.
Right.
But yeah, like for me, it's just kind of been more finding things that I like to do. It's finding a healthy balance.
That's right.
You don't neglect your mental health, but you can't let it control you and be the only thing you think about, and you can't make it your personality.
And some people struggle with that, though.
Yes.
So again, your story is going to help somebody out there. Yeah.
So like for me, it's like I'm into cars, I'm into fitness, I'm just like, I like going with the flow. I like gaming. I like chilling with my friends.
Right.
I'll go for drives. So for me, if I feel I'm starting to get into a bad mood, I'll go sit in my car, you know, go for a drive, listen to some music that's not gonna, you know,
Right.
affect that mood. Like I'll go I'm in a bad mood, I won't listen to like screamo music. I'll go for a drive and listen to some country or some Justin Bieber, you know what I mean? Something that's
on.
gonna set the mood.
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's all good stuff.
Of course, you gotta find,
What works for you?
yeah, you gotta find the healthy medium in between, you know, what's gonna help you almost suppress your feelings, but at the same time you don't neglect your feelings, because you have to pay attention to them, because if not they're gonna sneak up on you, right?
That's right.
Like they're always there, no matter, like right now I'm in a great mood, but behind the scenes there's always something that's bugging someone, right? You never know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's just a healthy balance, like I say, of keeping yourself occupied but not neglecting the fact that you're mentally ill.
It's almost like I've been thinking as you're talking, it's almost like having a relationship
Yeah.
with your condition
Yes.
or your disease or your illness.
Yep.
Because you learn it. It knows your body.
Yep.
If that sounds right. But
Yep.
the thing is, it kind of, it's in your body, and in your mind. So you have to learn it.
Yep.
And go with it and do what works for you,
Yeah.
what works for it, and you kind of become, you find that balance in
Yeah.
your life where you can say, hey, I have this going on,
Yep.
but this helps me and this works.
Yep.
So you have a relationship with
Of course.
your
It's-
bipolar, and you seem like
Yeah.
it's working.
It's like having an argument with your significant other almost. It's like when you know
right.
they're angry, give it some space, but don't ignore it, because then you might make it a little worse. You know what I mean?
And that works too.
If you ignore the problem, then
It's always going to be there.
It's going to be there, and it's not going to just go away on its own. So like I say, it's like having a relationship, and you're arguing, you just give it some space, and then figure it out later when everything's calmed down.
Right.
So for me, say I know I'm gonna have a bad day, like there's certain dates throughout the year that like are harder for me, like certain October 25th is a hard one. It's the first time I ever tried to commit suicide. Like,
Oh wow.
so for like days like that, it's more, you kind of give it space. You try to not think about it as much, and then
Okay.
the day after, I'll be like, okay, why does that day bother me so much? Well, this is the day I tried to kill myself. Okay, well, it was so long ago. Why does it still bother you?
But
So
it's still in your mind because
just
you're
confronting,
Right.
the problem, instead of, you don't do it on the day that it's bothering you, because then you're gonna get yourself all kerfuffled, and you're gonna get all stressed out and think you're never gonna figure it out. You kind of just take your space until you're in the right headspace, and then you figure it out.
right on.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know. I know we had talked about that time, but we didn't kind of go into depth with that. And if you're not comfortable, you don't have to go into depth with
no.
that. But you're still here.
I am.
So praise God for that.
I am. It was bad
you're-
timing too, right on Mom's birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
25th.
The 25th.
25th of October. Just actually passed. Yeah.
Right. And see, that's always going to be, a milestone, basically.
It's always gonna be one of those things that I won't forget, because I'll always feel guilty because it was Mom's birthday.
Right.
I more feel guilty that I put my mom through that on that kind of day, which I know she's more happy that I'm okay and that
Yes.
I'm still here, but at the same time it's like,
But you can't time those
Yeah,
things.
you can't
You
at all.
can't time.
No.
It could have been not on her birthday.
Exactly.
And she's not going to hold that,
No.
over your head, basically. So
course.
you should just, again, try to find a way to not be so hard on yourself.
Yep.
Because you've come a long way,
Yes.
and I'm so proud of you.
Yes, thank you.
I've watched your journey, as I mentioned before, and look, you're in the TV studios with us today,
I am.
sharing your story, and you're helping someone out there watching.
Yes.
That's probably maybe on the verge of something that,
Yep.
like a bad decision.
Yeah.
So this will maybe redirect,
Yes.
those thoughts.
Of course, there's definitely like 100% always other options.
Absolutely.
It's like it's at that point, like, you really do, like, because I can speak from experience, like even if you're not alone, like you at that moment you feel so alone, like, and for me it's like I know I'm not alone because I had two people that were really close to me call the police on me. So like you're never really alone, but that time where you're like, you know, you're
In your
going
head
through that,
kind of
it's
thing.
you really do, like it feels like there's no one. Like
Right.
no one will understand how you're feeling because it's true, like no one really will understand how you're feeling, but there's always going to be someone there that's going to, you know, talk you through it or be on your side because they have your best interest, right?
Right.
So
And they're also just to hit that, you know, comment is that there's some people out there that don't have anybody.
yeah, for that type of thing, I mean, there's been times where I really felt like I've had no one. There's all kinds, like you can call for us. I don't know if because we're in New Brunswick. I know you can call 811. That's nurses. They'll talk to you. There's suicide helplines.
Right. That's good to know.
There's all kinds of things. If you're too scared and you don't want to call on the phone, you can go, you know, if texting's more your thing, they have things online. You can text with someone. There's all kinds of things out there. So if you really feel alone and you really feel like you're going to do something you might regret to yourself, then it's always, if you're that desperate and you're going to end up hurting yourself or doing something you can't reverse, then there's always that, you know, if it's that desperate, just
Absolutely.
you can always
That's
text
so good to
someone
know,
or-
Jayden, seriously, because there's people out there that are looking for that answer
Of
today.
course.
There's the lines of help and hope, you know,
Yes.
for people out there that are living on the street.
Yep.
Or they're just, again, maybe are the only family member left.
Yep.
You know, knowing that kind of information
Yes.
is so helpful.
Of course.
So thank you for
Yes.
that. And I'm so glad that you're here with us today,
Yes.
and that, you know, with your mental focus and you have a very strong personality. So with that said, you know, it took you out of that moment that you were in the darkest time of your
Yep.
life. And again, I don't want you to be so hard on yourself, because you actually pulled yourself out of that.
Yes.
And we're very thankful for that.
Yes,
and you're
I'm-
here to share your voice.
And I'm thankful to be here, honestly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that said, what inspiration would you give to the viewers watching today? I know you've already shared a little bit of insight in
Yeah.
regards to, you know, some information for people that are alone, that, you know, have no one out there to reach out
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
But they do have the hotlines.
Yeah.
And for people that have bipolar and depression and anxiety, you know, from, you know, doesn't matter the age group, from 1 to 101. What advice would you give them going through something like this?
Honestly, I'm gonna say something from someone I heard. Actually, it was from a country artist named Jelly Roll, and it
Love
really,
him.
it
Yes.
really sat with me. He said at his award ceremony, "The windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror for a reason," and it's because what's in front of you is more important than what's behind you, right?
Right.
So for me, I find I dwell in the past a lot, and that's when I heard that, it's like, wow. So
Kind of stuck with
just,
you.
just kind of, you know, don't worry about the things that you've done that you might not like, or like things that have happened in the past, because you know we're in 2023. There's no time travel. You can't go back. You can't fix it. So, you know, focus on what you could do to prevent yourself from doing something like that again, or, you know, just always being more cognitive of ways you can help yourself instead of, you know, just trying to dwell and just get yourself all in a stinky mood over stuff you can't change, right? You just got to find that one thing that like you can zone in on, I find, for
That drives you,
and that's like
motivates you.
that's my thing. Like I say, I don't say it's going to work for everyone else, but that was like my number one thing, was just really finding something that you can rely on to, like, when there's no one else there. You
Right,
know?
something to look forward to.
When I know,
Right.
like, if I wake up first thing in the morning and I am in a bad mood, you know, I know no one's going to be awake while I have the gym. You know, you just have to have that kind of, it's just find what can be your lifeline almost.
There you go.
That's something that, you know, you can't cling on to, so something that's not a person, because people can go just like that, but just finding something that you can keep yourself content with and then stick to it. And if it ends up not working, you know, there's definitely other ways, but for me, it's always just been just finding that one thing that keeps you occupied. So it used to be music for me.
Yes.
Now it's the gym.
It's the gym.
Just, with bipolar, your interests can switch,
Yes.
and it's just kind of keeping ahead of yourself on what your next motivator is going to be, you know. So it used to be music for me, then it switched to the gym. I don't know, next week I could stop going to the gym and find something new, but as long as I have that lifeline, that's what
right.
I'll cling to.
Well, I'm very proud of you.
Yes,
I'll
thank
give you a
you.
high five. I want to thank you so much
Yes.
for coming on the show today. I'm so
Yes.
proud of you, and your story is going to help someone out there watching
Yes.
today that's going through the same thing. You've given us so much insight and information.
Yes.
So again, I want to thank you, and I want to thank you for tuning in today. And if you're someone watching that would like to share their real life survivor story with us, you can reach out to me on Facebook under Julie Comeau, and also my fan page, Real Life Survivor. And remember, no matter the struggle, no matter the challenge, no matter the obstacle, never give up. We'll see you back here next time with another Real Life Survivor story.